Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2021 action film One Shot, a film that is co-written and directed by James Nunn, and it stars Scott Adkins, Ashley Greene and Ryan Philippe. Now this film focuses on Scott Adkins' character, who is the leader of an elite SEAL team, and they have a job and they are escorting an analyst to a prison where they hold suspected terrorists, and there's one terrorist in particular that is of interest that is being transported out of there. When they get there, they meet some resistance as somebody else also wants this prisoner, and it is up to Scott Adkins and his team to try and stay alive and extract this prisoner in one piece in the hope that he has the information that they need in order to prevent a terrorist act. Right, what are my thoughts on One Shot? Now, I've actually been quite looking forward to this film. There's been quite a lot of buzz about this. As you know, if you watch my film, or watch my channel and my reviews, you know I'm a fan of Scott Adkins. I have been doing quite a few Scott Adkins reviews over the last 12 months or so, trying to catch up with his filmography, and he's done an awful lot of good films. And where does this one sit in his filmography? Well, actually, and reasonably high up. This is actually a very, very well made and entertaining action film. It's filmed in a really stylized and unique way, in the sense of it's almost like filmed guerrilla style. Some of the camera work here is really nicely done. You feel like you're right in the middle of the action, and some of the shots are quite clever as well. You know, long takes where the camera will follow the hero characters and then just without cutting kind of shift across the battlefield and follow some of the enemies as well. So I really liked how the film overall was shot, and it was really effective. The gunfights here as well and the action I thought was really, really on point, and like I say, it felt gritty in a lot of ways. I believed Scott Adkins' character and his team. They came across as really highly skilled soldiers with a mission to do and all that kind of stuff. And Scott Adkins can do these kind of roles in his sleep now. He's very, very good at it. I mean, you could argue he needs to do maybe more challenging roles now, stuff a bit different. But what I liked about this role for him is it doesn't highlight in particular his martial arts, even though you do see him do some fight scenes here, but not what you would describe as really highly stylized martial arts fight scenes that you would see in a typical Scott Adkins film. The more close combat, military style, hand-to-hand type stuff and knife fighting, which was all really brutal and effective, and I really liked it. And another thing I thought this film did really, really well is it kind of kept you guessing a little bit, because this guy who they've got to extract, who is a suspected terrorist, continuously pleads his innocence, and for a large portion of the film you kind of almost believing him, and you're almost on his side for a large part of the film, because he comes across so well in regards to his story and how convincing he is, and I really, really like that. And there's some good interactions between a lot of these characters in regards to when it all goes down, you know what I mean, and they kind of penned in, and it becomes at one point this film almost like a remake of Assault on Precinct 13, you know, the John Carpenter classic. And I know that has already been remade just not that long ago, but it becomes like a siege film, and it becomes like an Assault on Precinct 13 type film. So what we've got here is a really quite tight, nicely paced action film here that is really, really enjoyable to watch, with some really nicely put together action scenes and shootouts. And I suppose the weakness here of this film is it doesn't offer much more than that, really. It just kind of feels like a continuous gunfight for the large part of this film. Now early on, you're really into all that, and you really enjoy this unique camera work and the way the film's being made, and there's some really good shots and all this kind of stuff, and you're really into it. And then you kind of lose your focus a bit later on, because you're kind of okay, I've kind of seen this, how are you going to make it different? And they don't really change it up as the film goes on. And there's some fairly underused characters here. Ashley Greene's character and Ryan Philippe's character I feel like they're a little bit underused here. But it's not all Scott Adkins here. I mean, he does kind of go a little bit Rambo by the end, but I mean, it does focus a little bit on his team, and there's some nice moments with his team, when it shows that team unity that he has with them all and all that kind of stuff. But I was actually quite surprised by this one. It was better than I expected it to be, and certainly an above average Scott Adkins movie. So I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. Highly entertaining stuff, and I think if you guys give it a chance, if you're a fan of Scott Adkins or action films in general, there's quite a lot here to enjoy. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll be back with plenty more reviews on the channel very, very soon.